I got me 3 big piles of maple tree branches and leaves that I'm going to attempt to make me a hugelkultur bed out of. Here's the one pile in my front of my garage, and I got 2 piles behind my garage. Right on the other side of that fence, I'm going to make my hugelkultur bed. So it ought to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 feet long and probably 4 or 5 feet wide. This is 2 more piles behind the garage that I'm going to use for my hugelkultur bed. This is my attempt at a hugelkultur bed. I got my logs all stacked up along the fence. This bed's going to be about 55 to 60 feet long. Took all the bigger branches and laid in the bed. Now I got a big pile of leaves and twigs down there to put on top. And as I go along and get all of them on, I'll show you the product as it goes along. Okay, this is my next stage of the hugelkultur pile. I piled the leaves and smaller twigs on top of the bigger pieces of wood. Now I'm going to go up to my compost pile and get stuff out of it and dump on top of this. And I'm going to get a truckload of hardwood mulch and put on top of that. And I'm going to get a load of mushroom compost and put on top of that. And I have a pretty good pile. As you can see down there, all the twigs and leaves are gone and they're up here in this pile. That's it. Here's my 2 compost piles. Getting ready to move it down on the hugelkultur pile. I got a cantaloupe or a watermelon vine grown in my compost pile. This pile here's got so many eggshells in it, it's unbelievable. I eat 3 eggs a day, 7 days a week. There must be 10,000 eggshells in there. Well, an update on the hugelkultur pile. Now I got the mulch on top, and I just needed 1 more scoop of mulch to finish up the pile before I put the mushroom mulch on there. The mushroom mulch, it's got horse manure in it. What it is hardwood mulch that they take and put horse manure in it and grow mushrooms in it, and then they give it back to the guy, give him the mulch, and then he sells it $14 and something a scoop. And man, does it stink. Over here is my truck. Got 3 scoops of mushroom mulch on there with a scoop of hardwood mulch on top of there. Now all I gotta do is get it off the truck in that little yellow wheelbarrow and move it to this hugelkultur pile. It's coming. The next thing, after I see how much mushroom mulch it takes, then I'll put topsoil, and then I'll put straw on top to keep the weeds down, and she's ready to go. That's it. Well, I got the mushroom compost on. Now, just went out and got me a 2,300 pounds of topsoil. I'm going to put on top of this to see how far that will go. Hope I don't have to make too many trips at $4,300 $43 for topsoil. There's $43 worth of topsoil right there. Well, here's the topsoil on the Hugelkultur bed. Took quite a few truckloads to come to this point. Now all I got to do is put some seed on it. I got a bunch of seed that's outdated, and this is August, so I'm going to throw the seed on there. Even though it might say 2005, there's a possibility it might come up, and see what it does. After I get the seed on, and I'm going to put straw on top of that and see what happens. Then maybe next month, if nothing comes up, I'll put some wheat or rye on it and leave it on there all winter. Then whenever it comes up in the spring, I'll just mow it down and let it lay on the bed. There's my two 1,500-gallon water tanks behind the garage that gets the rainwater off the roof. What a godsend that water is. Free water, no sewage, and to water my garden. Okay, Hugelkultur bed finally finished. Got the straw on it. Before I put the straw on, I had about 50 packs of seed. That was clear back to 2,000. Not necessarily all of them 2,000. But I threw them on the bed. I used a stomper to pat them into the ground. Put the straw on. And then I watered it really good with water out of them tanks down there. Had a 1 horsepower pump. And while I was at it, I went ahead and watered the whole garden. 80 tomato plants, 180 pepper plants. Really produced this year. Really good tomatoes. Good hot peppers. My water's held up pretty good. I've probably used 8,000 or 9,000 gallons of water this summer already, watering this garden. Well, this is the end of the Hugelkultur film.